afternoon, whatever time you will be watching this video. I'm gonna put this my favorite bright filter to add some brightness because it's raining. So it's almost, I feel like almost ASMR video because it's raining and I'm in my car. Although I planned make a regular video at home, but my dear friends, I got caught up watching one of my very favorite YouTube person, the body language guy. He had an awesome live show, so I blame his sauce for uh for taking my time to watch him and not doing a live video earlier at my home. But I don't regret it because it's always so much value and such great videos, so I highly recommend you guys to watch it. But today I just want to come on and address a lot of questions that you guys ask about long distance relationships. A lot of my subscribers are in long distance relationships because, you know, I started this channel just to, for my new subscribers, I started, excuse me, I started this channel to help people understand each other, people who are in international marriages, to understand each other, because relationships are hard enough for men and women to understand each other, but when you come from different cultures, you know, there is more to unpack. And when I was going through difficulties in my marriage, I didn't really have anybody to talk to. I didn't have anybody to understand the kind of mentality I have, and I wanted to, you know, do better, you know, in my own family, and I just really didn't have, there was not an option, and I wanted to make this option by creating this channel because I feel that our culture, Eastern European culture, Ukrainian culture, not really is the most undiscovered in a way. Hello everybody, hello Lino, hello John. Let's see who we have here. Hello another John Vitier, and hello John from Pennsylvania. Hello guys, good to see you. I hope this topic will be relevant to you. So yeah, so I made this channel because some people are wondering, why am I talking about you know, so much of Russian Ukrainian stuff. So we are not only talking about it, we are becoming more universal. We're talking about dynamics in general in relationships and you know, between people. But we still have, of course, our main line is to, you know, understand how people with, you know, different cultures can be together. But also, if you're watching and you're not from different culture, you can still relate to hello Charles, you can still relate. So when I say Russian Ukrainian, just think about, you know, if you're a lady, think about feminine, traditional. And when I talk about, you know, American men, it's just generally I talk in the sense of creating committed relationships. We are not here about the hookup culture. So the trolls who come here and write all the BS about hookup culture and men who go their own way, keep going. Exit is over there. So let's talk today about you know, when to move on from long distance relationships. This is a very tough topic. Oh my gosh, everybody's here today. Okay, everybody's here today. Hello guys, hello Jim. Okay, I will answer your question. Billionaire. Wow, I have a billionaire boot camp. Man, am I missing something? Oh my gosh, I will try to answer your question today. But first I gotta address the topic I'm talking on today. So Charles, thank you so much. Why did you delete your nice message? Don't delete your messages, guys. I want to tell you something, gentlemen. When you send a message and then you delete or unsend, this is not a good thing. You know, whatever you wrote, hopefully it wasn't stupid. Just stick with what you said. Do not delete. No, it's okay. So anyway, so how do you know? Hi Lawrence, hi everyone in the chat. So how do you know when to move on from, let's say you're in a long distance relationship with somebody. I would say at least half of people who watch my channel either have been in a long distance or are in a long distance. And I know it is very tough sometimes to take the right decision, because you feel like, well, what if you give up and it was just about to unfold? What if you going to give up on something just before it was supposed to be right? So let's talk about some science when it's time to wrap it up. Let's talk about some science when it is starting to be unhealthy and confusing and not good. So if you are the active party, so if you the active, I mean the initiative party, if you are the man, right, you initiate. Let's say in our situation, Russian Ukrainian with an American man, maybe English man, I don't know. So East and West come together, right? So you as the initiator, right, you have to open K1, usually you have to do all these things. So if you are doing your part, well, first of all, you have to come and visit, right? You have to come and visit. You have to, not that you have to, but it's part of a connection. You gotta come and see somebody in person. You gotta, spend time. You gotta get to know the person in, all of these normal things. But not only you playing a role in this, you need to also see the signs that you get, that your lady is receptive and she's responsive, because it takes your part too. So my main concern would be, if for some reason your lady is not following certain steps. Let's say you had agreed that, oh, we're gonna start doing K1, and she needs to put her documents. It's a lot of work from her side too. I remember doing that, this whole circles of hell, I called it, because I don't like doing paperwork. I don't like dealing with the government. This is my least favorite thing to do. I would help people all day long. I would give my heart. I would solve their problems. I would create things without eat and sleep. But when you ask me to deal with the government, this is where, like, my juice, like my vibrancy, I don't know, it just drains. I just want to die. But so you have to go to the police department, you have to go through certain medical things, you need to have paperwork on your entire family history. But when you love somebody, you put that aside, you want to be with them, and you start to do, you're doing through those circles of hell, as I call them, as I lovingly call them. So you get serious, you have to fill up your papers, you have to do all those important things. So if your lady somehow procrastinates on this, like she is avoiding doing certain things, she doesn't, you start the process, you hire the lawyer, and you see like she's not in it, like there is no progress. This is a serious concern, because you made your steps and she just need to follow up. And if she does not follow up, it means that maybe it could mean that your desire is one-sided. So this is where you really need to have that conversation with her, right? Because you want to have clarity. If you went to that point where it is crucial to know which way you're going, and you even started the process, I always recommend guys to take steps, because usually Ukrainian women, Russian women, they wait. They wait for you to take initiative. They wait for you to lead, right? But you also need to see that she's reciprocating. If she's not reciprocating, if she is getting cold, if she's not responsive, and especially if she does not follow up your paperwork requirements, it just means that probably you are blind and you do not see that she's not on the same page with you. She is not ready. Honestly, it's not that she's not ready, she's just not interested. Because if she would be not ready, she would tell you that she is not ready before you start the paperwork. Because, you know, hiring a lawyer, doing all these things, it's a kind of a serious thing. It's not that you just sitting on your couch like, oh, I'm hiring a lawyer. You know, when you hire a lawyer, it's a legal agreement. You know, it's, you have to invest in it. You know, your time, your finance, and all. So you gotta have just an open conversation. But your initiative is important. So that's it. If she does not, this is just the number one thing. If you started everything and she is not really, she seemed to not doing her steps, you have to have a conversation, because you don't want to force somebody, you know, you don't want to convince. Anytime you need to convince somebody in your value, you are in the wrong circumstance. I'm gonna say this again. Anytime you need to convince another person that is in a relationship with you in your value, you are in the wrong situations. And that's just how it is, because the right person will find a way. If they're afraid of it, they will ask you for help. You know, I'm honestly, I get very uncomfortable with I don't know, I just think it's just such a such a buzzkill, like they say in the United States. I'm a very creative person, so when somebody gets into my space, like I have, you know, people. Even when people come to do repairs in my house, I don't like it. I don't like to have a lot of guests at all, unless you are my family member. I don't like. I need my space, you know. So for me, when it's like I need to bring paperwork, I need to talk with these people who generally do not. I mean, I'm not saying that a lot of people who work and doing this paperwork, they are doing well at their jobs, but they're not super excited. Like, how often do you go to government building and government employee like, hi, how are you doing today? Would you like some coffee? Yes. I mean, some of them are polite and a lot of them are good people and they help, but compare the difference when you go to a business establishment and you go to state establishment. When you go to business or federal establishment, when you go to business establishment, people will literally crawl out of their skin to help you to take responsibilities, because they know they're going to be rewarded. It's a part of a culture. They regardless gonna most likely show good service. When you deal with the government, usually it's pretty much it's very like, you know, like a clock. There is no emotion. You gotta put this paper, that paper, so there is no emotional support. You have to understand that your lady may need to have an assistant too. Maybe you need to ask why she is not following up with the paperwork, right? Maybe it's that she's afraid. She doesn't, she, you know, for example, I wasn't necessarily afraid, I was just eye rolling, but I did have a very good assistant. I had a paralegal who was connecting with me from US, and she was giving me step by step, and we were checking the paperwork. She were make sure that I go and do all the steps. So that's it. You just make sure, you just need to make sure that she has everything that she needs. And maybe she's like me, she's not happy about dealing, but most people are okay with this, guys. You gotta know that most people just doing these things, they don't think about it. Like for me, I'm just like, oh, I'm yeah. If she doesn't follow, the thing is, if she doesn't follow up, she's not interested. You cannot calling somebody stupid because they don't want to be with you is very arrogant. People have the right to choose who they want to be with. I think it's very arrogant to expect, oh, she doesn't like you, I'm gonna to, you know, hurt her, you know, or not hurt her, but I'm gonna call her names. Nobody is you know, nobody is stupid because they don't want to be with you. It's we have to get over ourselves, you know. If somebody is not following up, they most likely don't want it. With ladies, once again, you need to make sure that she got everything she needs. And if she got everything she needs and she does not make progress, you gotta figure out what's going on. Probably it's time to move on. You gotta put a timeline. We're gonna talk about timeline. So, hello, Brianna. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Thank you for the super chat on this beautiful rainy day. Thank you so much. Tell her and don't sell her, guys. Veronika, I'm sorry about the other morning. I won't chat so much. Listen to what she says, guys, because she's calls it right. It's okay. You can chat, Brianna. It's an open platform. You good, girl. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, guys, do you hear this rain? The only thing missing is my cup of tea. But we have only that much daylight left. And I need to get some sleep, guys. I was working so hard. You all have so much troubles. Oh man, I've been really staying up way too late every night, and I'm just like, my body says no. So hopefully I can. This rain will have to sleep. Oh my god, this is so nice. Do you guys hear it? It's an ASMR session. Relationship advice in the rain. Thank you though. Thank you so much, guys, for the kind words. And Brianna, once again, thank you for this bright yellow super chat on this nice rainy day. Thank you. And feel free to talk all you want. There is no issues with that. And thank you for the kind feedback. So, all right. Oh, thank you, John. John is saying, anytime you need to convince somebody of your value, you are in a wrong relationship. Yes. Yes. And it goes both ways. And guys, once again, this attitude that, oh, if she don't want me, she's a loser. Or if he does not want me, he's a loser. The interesting thing is we cannot dictate who we want and who we do not want. You can have all the intentions to like somebody, but you just don't feel the same towards them. That is okay, I don't know. I'm just so over it to having this like bitter attitude. Oh, well, you don't want me, you must be stupid. Nope. You're just not the right match, and that's all to it. Sometimes women are afraid to tell their honest feelings, how they feel about you, because they're afraid they will hurt your feelings. So remember that too. While we enjoying this rain. So now let's talk about the timeline, right? Timeline. So when you met, if you're in a long distance relationship, hopefully you had some vision for how you wanted things to progress, and you probably had a timeline. Like, for example, you met the first time, you had a couple of first dates, probably had some plans for the future, right? Then you maybe had some travel plans in a couple of months, hopefully. Then you had plans to, okay, I'm gonna go meet your parents. Then you had a plan, maybe we'll start the visa. With surprisingly for some, in long distance relationships, things progress faster because you don't have the luxury to wait for years and years, because because the immigration, if you need to move, that process takes a lot of time. It takes almost roughly a year, because you need to file, you need to present evidence, you need to get an appointment. And some of you guys, unfortunately, were not that lucky so far because of the COVID circumstance, right? And I get it. It's been very tough. I know some of you on the call, I know what you guys are going through. I don't want to, be, I'm gonna speak in general, but I just want you to get, to understand. So yes, when people are in long distance, they really have less time to get to know each other, because they don't have the luxury of knocking at next door and going out for movies. And when you want to be with somebody and they across the ocean, and you miss them, you want to be with them every day, it's very tough You have to have very strong motivation to keep going. You have to have very strong motivation to continue, because it's much easier to find somebody next door. I mean, or at least somebody in your city, in your country. So when you are long distance with somebody, it means that you are into them so much that you're willing to jump through those obstacles. So if you're willing to jump through those obstacles, you need to have a plan when you jump in and through which obstacles. And this is what I'm talking about, timeline. So if you see that your timeline consistently gets moved, and your timeline, you know, maybe she neglects or she doesn't show up, or maybe you offered her a trip, right? You know, a trip together, which is really important to be together, live together, like get the feel for each other in that situation. If she pushes that away time after time, even if the reasons are legit, it's a concern. It's a concern because, guys, unlike you, you know, women very, I don't know any woman who goes to websites and looks at men's pictures and like I honestly don't know a single friend of mine that would go to, like, you know, some websites with handsome men, or just, you know, I don't know, regular men on websites, and just be like looking at their pictures and fantasize and doing all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know anybody. As women, we need to actually, the fantasies thing, your pictures thing does nothing to us, absolutely nothing. So much the texts, it's just a distraction. We usually want to see you at least on a video, at least have an actual phone call when you talk, but most of all, we need to feel you next to us. And unfortunately, a lot of my some of my subscribers are getting scammed. And I don't want to be the bad news the barrier of bad news, but if your lady is okay that you're not coming to see her, you know, months after months after months, she does not really want you. Because if she wanted you, she would be throwing temper tantrums, she would be crying, she would be trying to block you, because we need an actual person, you know. If she's genuine, she doesn't, you know, you may help her financially, you may, you know, give her gifts, and it's kind of like a material expression that you care about her and you are there. But in the end of the day, after some time, she will get frustrated, and she will ask you when you actually coming, you know, when is your travel plan. I do know, guys, I do know the immigration stuff. I've been through this, and so I know. She will be on it, and she would just be upset, you know. She would be in tears on the Skype calls or FaceTime calls. So I hope that you understand. And the thing is, guys, I'm not gonna follow some of you and say, hey, you need to talk to me because I think you're getting scammed. If you want to talk to me, consult Veronika@gmail.com. You can request a consultation. I will talk to you. But I get paid the same amount of money for things that I say. And I have no reason to not tell you the truth. And sometimes truth hurts. So if you are with a woman that is okay to wait for you, and she's like, oh, don't you hurry, you know, because she's not interested in you coming, because when you come, you will stop sending her money and she'll have to deal with you, right? I'm talking about, you know, real situations here. So keep that in mind. There is timeline for things. You may have travels, trips, meetings. I'm not saying do not support your lady. I'm not saying do not treat her, but you have to have timeline to obtain all this immigration stuff, and a plan for the future, you know, where you're gonna be living, you know, how you're gonna provide. She needs to start to prepare, you know, is she gonna sell her house, she's gonna keep her house, you know. If she's not doing any of that, if she's not doing any planning, any brainstorming, that's also a question. But I would not, side note, I would not recommend in any size, shape, or form to sell your house. She can keep her house. She doesn't need to sell her house, because if it's K1 visa, she's coming as a fiancé. It's not, she doesn't have to, give up her residency or anything like that. It's best to keep your house so you guys can come back, and if things are great, you can come back and have your vacation there, and maybe she can rent it out rest time for the rest of the time of the year. Or if things did not work out the way you want, she can come back and she will have a place to stay. Okay, and unfortunately sometimes things do not work out so well. I would say in my practice it's only about 10 to 15% when things did not work out and the lady came back home. I would even say less. So, but you don't want to sell everything, put all the eggs in one basket, and then you have this pressure that, oh, okay, now she's here and I'll be a bad guy if I send her back. Remember, you're not sending anybody back. She's not a thing. If you start living together and things are not working out so well, it means that you're not a good match, and that's all. So now we are moving to another point, and this is very, very crucial. Sometimes people in a long distance relationships do not tell each other the truth. And when things start to get serious, this is where the problem occurs. For example, sometimes one of the people who are doing this long distance dating is still legally married. I knew in my practice, I had guys who were still married. Some of them were going through divorce and already looking. I mean, I don't know how one does that, but but at the same time, sometimes people go through divorce, but their relationships have been dead for decades. So I get it. You know that your divorce is on the roll and you're trying to do something. So, Jim, yes, I know, but you're not trying to hide it. So, unfortunately, what happens sometimes, you trying to do this whole entire paperwork, you're trying to align things, do good stuff, do good things to make things happen. And the other partner did not tell you the truth, and it's especially neither of you can start K1 process if you had not if you are not officially divorced. Neither of you can start K1 visa process, because if you're not divorced, because K1 visa requires that you are free. You're either not married or you're divorced, obviously, right? But sometimes people generalize because they were separated. They don't want to mention their wife and divorce on courts, so they just men sometimes just say, yeah, I am divorced. Like in Ukraine, we don't have separated. You are either married or you divorced. We don't have, you can't file a separation. It's I guess an American thing, maybe some other countries, but in Ukraine you can be married, living separately, but it's not an official status. I've learned that there is a legal separation in US. Once again, we don't have this in Ukraine. So when you tell somebody you're separated, women do not know what separated is. They think that you are divorced. So be also honest from your side and just say the truth that you are legally married, but we have such a thing as separation here in US, and that's where you are at. Honestly, I would not be interested in a man who's not divorced but separated, because it just feels weird. It's like you are in between. If you like to be in between, then if you like to be in between, then maybe that's for you. But I kind of want to know where where all women who are genuine, they kind of want to know where this is all going. They don't want to be just sitting there and thinking, well, I hope that you don't want to leave and look like, when you open the door, you don't want to look through the keyhole and like hoping that these people will finally get divorced. You don't want to waste your guys. This is very important. If you're in a long distance and somebody is separated, let them get their divorce. Like, ask them, I really will believe and trust in your intentions when I see those divorce papers. I believe in you, but if you're serious about me, you will go ahead and get those divorce papers. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, sometimes you have some court sessions. Sometimes you need to travel to another country. Sometimes there are government fighting because you married in one country, you need to divorce. Sometimes you need the permission of that person. But I tell you what, when somebody have a plan to change their life, they are going to follow up that plan. I'm gonna say this again. When somebody has a plan to change their life, they are going to make it happen. They're gonna follow up, they're gonna make it happen. I've never met a person that wanted to move, to immigrate, to be with somebody, change their life in some way, and they truly want it and they were not on it. When you truly want something, you go through hell and high water, but you will get it done. Especially, if you are a guy and you are initiating all of this, you just have to understand that she expects from you to follow up. But once again, if there are some signs from her and she's not filling up those blanks that she need to fill out, that's a bad sign. You need to have a conversation, and if there is no change, you have to put a deadline. Okay, we are all human beings, we are all lazy, we all want to postpone things. Like I told you guys about the paperwork. For me, I hate paperwork so much, but I do it first because for me it's like it's hanging over my head, and when I know it is time to do something, I'm gonna get it done. I close my eyes, I hate it with passion, but I'm gonna get it done. I get into my masculine part, and like I get my gun ready, and I'm like, okay, be ready for this. I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna get through. I needed to make some calls. Sometimes you have to call to some federal officials or state officials. I'm just gonna be calling till they pick up. I'm just gonna get it done and or hire somebody to help me. So I am not good at it. That's why I know that I need to put extra effort. Things that you are good at, you don't need to put that much extra effort, right? So this is very important aspect of it, that if she truly really wants it, she'll ask you for help, but she will be on it, because you cannot do things for her. And if she is unprepared or she's avoiding it, maybe it's time to wake up, right? And also, guys, it's not only legal things, but it's also relationships. It's also, how to say this, emotional human part. You want to kind of know what to expect and how your life will look like. When the other person cannot take a decision, you need to take a decision for them. I'm gonna say this again. When another person keeps you on hold and cannot make a decision, you need to make a decision for them. Other words, you actually make a decision for you by taking their procrastination with a decision as an answer and doing what you need to do. Because when somebody does not take action and does not take a decision, it means that they have already made the decision, but they just let you hang because God knows why. With that being said, let me look at some comments. Let me read some of your comments, guys. Yeah, the situation with divorce is really, really tough. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, agreements are great, verbal agreements, but when it comes to real relationships, especially long distance, you gotta have that paperwork ready. Divorce needs to be official, not planned. Only takes a month in Ukraine usually, but takes years in US often. Yes. You have to be careful, guys. I mean, you have to be careful with what you say. Please do not lie when you meet somebody. You don't have to tell somebody, last 27 years of your life. Please don't do that. It's so annoying. But you have to, at first, when you meet somebody, you can say in general. But if you keep seeing them, you have to say your exact status. You don't have to, do not go into your battles, into your problems when you meet somebody for the first time. But when they, they ask you, so, how long have you been, officially, something, you gotta tell them the truth. You may say, we hadn't been living together for this amount of years or months, but right now, this is my documents, I'm going through this. Honestly, once again, guys, get your stuff together before you get involved in something. Because it's like, if you're still married, even if things work out, you don't have a place to take this person. It's like, imagine you are in a driveway, you have a whole bunch of trash in your driveway and some old cars and pieces of a vehicle and this and that, and somebody brought you the most beautiful vehicle you always dreamed about. It's like, oh my God, this is my favorite car, this is my dream car. And they're like, okay, we need to drop it somewhere, and your entire yard is covered with, pieces of old vehicles. You don't even know what model, some crap and scrap. They will say, oh well, I'm sorry, but we're not gonna deliver this vehicle today because we have no place to park it. So, what you're gonna be doing? Hysterically trying to move those old pieces of those old cars you don't even know from where they are from? It's not gonna look very good, and the delivery service may not want to wait. So consider that, my dear friends, and be prepared. Now, I do understand that sometimes life happens, and I also do understand that in the United States, I know that some people have divorce courts for years. This is true, but you need to clean it up as much as possible and put some effort in it. Maybe you need to hire a better lawyer. Maybe you can try to agree with your ex-spouse that, not to ruin both of your lives and just to come to some sort of peace. But you got to get on it. Some people are not filing the divorce to the end because they are really holding to a stability, quote unquote. They just want to say, that status meant something to them, and they actually do not want to say that, they're not, and they are no longer married. Some people are afraid to do that last step. And guess also what happens. It happens in Ukraine a lot, where the person who is still married on a paper but lives in a different home start living with another, let's say it's a guy, and he start living with another woman. And sometimes she gets pregnant and he decides, you know what, this is kind of weird. My wife actually was better. Now when I think about it, I'm going, this was nice, but I'm going back. I don't want to share my, my company. I don't want to lose my, my money. Plus, my wife is mature and you're not, and you're a drama queen. At least, my wife is a known devil, and I'm going back. I realize this is not so great. and women are left with with a child with and nothing. Sometimes in our country also it happens very often in post-USSR countries, when the man meets a new girl and he tells her how much he loves her, or his wife, he's only with her because she's handicapped and he's taking care of her, and he's such a good man. And then he spends the best years of this girl, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. She's hoping he will marry her, he finally will get a divorce. And you know what, in the end he's like, I need my money, I'm coming back. So you know what, this is why timeline is important. Sometimes we meet wonderful people and we are in certain circumstance, but it cannot last forever, and it's very, very draining where you don't understand, you don't have the vision and a plan. So if you have a plan, if you have time frame, if you have a vision, you're not gonna let somebody take 5 years of your life, giving them a candy. So hi everybody. Yes, Terry, that's right, get a damn divorce. I mean, get organized, guys. No, nobody wants to do it, but the thing is, if you're not ready, I mean, if you're not doing your part, you're not gonna get. I am not burning hot. I have a secret. I have a secret. Yes, let life begin again. Exactly. You can make things happen. You can detangle things. You can put little pieces together, and don't start something big when your life is in shambles. Because you won't be able to be there, you won't be able to follow up. I mean, it's just don't do that. Okay, guys, do you have any questions, comments, concerns? I'm so much done with Western women, I can't touch. It was a fun. First of all, billionaire bootcamp, are you a man or a woman? I have no idea, because you were asking me if Western men are gentlemen. So if you're a man, why do you ask me? You should know better. You should ask yourself. I mean, I don't know. I guess you supposedly you're a guy, but if you're a guy, why will you put a woman on your picture? I don't get paid enough for this. Guys, if you're a guy, do not put a woman on your picture. That's as weird as hell. I'm just saying. Thanks, Simone. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Good to see you. How long should an 80-year-old girl stay in committed relationship without a marriage proposal, in your opinion? As short as possible, because nobody wants to waste those beautiful young years when you are full of energy. You can do anything and be anyone. So as short as possible, because if you have a beautiful 18-year-old woman that is marriage oriented, you would be a fool to not jump into that. So any woman should be in if she is marriage oriented, right? Now, when somebody is so young, sometimes they are not marriage oriented, so as sometimes who was already married. Here is guys, the things that you may not understand. Men and women who are very young, sometimes not yet into marriage mode. So as people who were married before, have a child or more, they also sometimes not in a hurry to jump into something because they already been there, done that. Young people are not ready yet to do that. So it just really depends. It's a very general question, my friend. You need to give me some more details, then I can give you a better answer. If you can give me better details. 18 year olds are full of options. Well, first of all, young women, sometimes, unfortunately, in Western culture, unfortunately, they are the most confused and they do not understand the value of their use of their beauty, and they just, unfortunately, this whole college thing, they just jump into, just having all these casual sexual relationships. At least not all, but it just, if you have a daughter, just please bring her to my channel, and but first of all, as a father, explain her how valuable her time is. That, in my culture, we were taught also, to educate ourselves, but to be assertive. This is very important because a lot of girls, that young, when they did not have support, they do not know what the hell they are doing, and it can be really, really dangerous. But if she is a smart girl, if she knows what she wants, in Ukraine, some ladies are, ready to get married in their early 20s, So it's changing, of course, right now too. But yeah, it just really depends. But if I would be working with young women, especially, with those in their teens and early 20s, man, there is one thing that I would try to install into their brain. And this is like this damage, this feminism, and the damage of feminism is so crucial because it tells women, oh, go and have those options, go and sleep around, go, and and it screws these young minds up. Women do not know that men need to earn their trust. Men need to prove themselves. You don't need to care about that somebody wants you sexually. The man needs to prove himself before you do anything with him. And unfortunately, a lot of girls just so confused here. They're looking at all this hip hop, Cardi B, horrific examples, just no moral behaviors. And unfortunately, a lot of modern girls, especially here in the West, um by the time they are in their 20s, they're completely lost. They just don't know what to do. They think that their female power is into changing multiple partners, when their female power is something completely. Their female power is to say no to all these clowns and find the one that actually makes sense, that actually deserve that. Use beauty and fertility. So that's just a side note for those of you guys who have daughters. Please don't let them to live with losers. Don't let them, don't let them explain them. No, you don't pay half and half for apartments. You do not let your man use you. You do not let your man encourage you to have some weird sex with with bunch of weird people. You don't get involved with the men who are now responsible. You do not let. I'll be honest with you guys, my dad told me some stuff, and I'm very grateful. He told me a lot about men's nature, and that's why things are good. So if you have a daughter, you gotta tell her, you gotta help her to find a good man. I don't care how old she is. So thank you so much for another super chat. I think you sent me some more details, Simone. She's been with her boyfriend for a year. She definitely wants to get married. The boy does love her, but I have doubts about whether he will be ready anytime soon. So you asking for a friend? When you ask like the craziest question, and then you write like asking for a friend. Sounds like so. And this is another thing that the father should teach the daughter, that if do not live with a man before he signed for you at the courthouse. This is something, it's like, why to buy a cow if the milk is free? I made this video before. Why to buy a cow if the milk is free? If you can live with somebody, you can use their, they can get pregnant, they can get an STD from you if you're running around like. But let's say that you're a normal person. Ladies, if you're watching this live show, do not live with men together who did not sign for you at the courthouse. Or at least if you're not in the status of a fiance and you are making your plans, you are making house into a home, you are in a committed relationship, you have all the attributes, he's supporting you, he knows your parents, I mean all of this stuff. So yeah, in her situation, if he's it really depends, Simone, what age is he is, because if he is same age, if he's 18, I don't think he will be ready to marry anybody anytime soon. If he's a little bit couple years older, same. If he's 10-15 years older, then it's possible. But my question is, why you have this question? Is it the girls that you like and you want to marry her? Okay, I'm gonna change my filter, guys, just for you, into a blush one. I'm gonna change my filter into natural one so it doesn't get so dark. Back to natural beauty. Thank you, John. Yeah, my father explained me and showed me the nature of men and showed me how, of course you get your own experiences with time, and of course I got, I have a lot of things going on, but I've never been in those situations that a lot of women are. And I think the most important that he taught me that, as women, we possess a value. You don't just let you don't just let people into your heart, into your body, into your mind. You, especially as a woman, basically you are a gatekeeper. You only choose the best. And if somebody not happy about it, that's cool. It's your daughter. All right, all right, all right. You got to tell me those details. How old is the boy? And also, what country are you in? Are you in US? You gotta give me some better details, Simone. But I understand. If it's your daughter, you gotta have some conversations with her. I would not be okay if for my daughter to live with a guy that have no plans for her future. So you got to have a conversation with her. A year older. Are you in US? Because if you're in US, you know that he's not gonna be in Switzerland. Well, it's also kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what country. I don't understand. Can you tell me? In Ukraine? Okay, you got to tell me what it is. I don't understand. Please put all the letters. Hey, baby. Hi, Mona. Good to see you, my friend. Living with opposite sex has no status for either one. Relationship has to be based on commitment, I guess. Yes. Well, I don't think that in your country, in your native country, you can even do that at all. I mean, I don't know. Maybe things are changing, but you cannot, like, in Middle East, in Iran, in I don't know, other countries, I don't like that. I don't think you can even legally, be with somebody of opposite sex and not be at least engaged or married. So of course, we are, we have freedom, but the problem in America that freedom, especially, sexual relationship freedom, hurt women more than it helped them. That's whole another video. because women went wild into try to get validation from men. I mean, how many women you know that have multiple children and nobody knows where they fall? I mean, it's just a mess. Women do not. The thing is, if women would have the standards high, hookup culture would not exist, because they would just they would just not let these guys having any chance with them, right? Do you guys agree? Like, when you have your standards high, you're not gonna let anybody, come close to you. And another thing, guys, you can't really control somebody who you are, who, if you are still courting somebody. Let's say you're in a courtship stage. There are stages for things. You can't control somebody who you are just going out on dates or courtship. You have to understand that if you like the woman, somebody else likes her too. She has options. You are not the only man interested in her. You just got to do your best. And if your relationship is progress, then you can have certain commitments from both sides. But if you just court and going out on dates, if you're not paying her bills, if you're not paying her mortgage, if you do not know, if you do not know, you're not taking care of her financially fully, you have no right to try to control her or get in her business. If you evolve to such status when you are a fiance, you have commitments, you decide your own commitments. Guys, when I was at the wedding, it was so awesome. I tried to do a video for you, but connection was bad. Oh my God, it was so awesome and hilarious. So the groom and the bride wrote commitments and vows for each other. And they did it with such a great humor. We were all on the ground. So like the groom wrote the vows and commitment for the bride, and the bride wrote commitment for the groom. This is so awesome, because it was comical and funny, and yet kind of serious, but it was really, really cool, because this way what the other person is hoping and expect to get from you. So it was really, really awesome. And with my dedication to the channel, guys, I really did try to record some of it, but it was just very, very humorous. But at the same time, they showed what they want. So each side were able to express themselves and their expectations. The problem with women, a lot of times as women, we have expectations of the guy, but we never voice them. And so, as guys, I think you may have some expectations or desires from the woman, but that you would like to get, but you never verbalize it. You never share what would you like. You have to be able to say what you truly want. You have to be able to say and express it, and then you can know whether you may or may not have it. Because sometimes we get very upset because we don't have something, but we didn't have the courage to even voice it. Mona is saying they do it illegally. Yeah, but I know you can get in a lot of trouble. Sorry guys, I have two phones right now, so okay. Yes, anyway, so this live show was mostly about long distance relationships, and guys, relationships are difficult. Long distance relationships are more difficult and complicated, but I just believe when people are made for each other, there are no obstacles. Don't make your woman take care of you. Don't make her try to find you a job, or like don't make her to like mother you. Like, for example, maybe you are moving to her country, maybe you're moving to Ukraine, or maybe you're moving to another country in Europe, or maybe you move into Middle East or America. if you're the guy in traditional relationships, she looks at you as a leader. So she's looking for you to be able to follow up. But also, guys, make sure that when you make steps towards a woman and you try to advance the relationship, that she is responsive. She's reciprocating. I'm gonna have to give you a vocabulary or dictionary for your birthday, so you know more words how to express things. But actually, the action is important. But sometimes, when you're able to express your emotions and your thoughts, is really important. Some people can do it better in writing, but you don't have to put too many. Guys, do not put overly sweetened, overly overdone compliments. Just put an idea, put how put what you experience in your heart when you're with a woman, like what thoughts you have, what just share something interesting. Share some experience, share your feelings, share how you experience her, like how she inspires you, how you feel around her, things like that. But do not put those battery compliments. It's not always that great. Oh, awesome, Charles. Welcome to the live. Welcome your first time live here, total live. Awesome. Welcome, my friend. Um, hey, Bill. Thanks for posting my information. Exactly. Jerry is saying men marry women hoping they will never change. Women marry men hoping that they do change. Um, yeah, we know how that works out. Not very good usually. It's getting dark here, so we have our last 5 minutes, guys. So if you want to say some kind words, you have 5 minutes to do it. Or ask a good question, or write a nice comment. Many UA ladies do not allow any competition. One lady recently stopped communicating because I wanted to meet a few ladies before choosing one. She wanted me to come to Ukraine and only see her comments. You need a consultation, number one. Number two, you don't need to ask a permission to see other people. Talking about it is silly. You should not be talking about it because it doesn't feel good. I mean, would you feel good if the girl you're seeing would tell you, yeah, I have another couple of dates with a few others? It's weird. I mean, you can say it, but in Ukraine, that's not what you say. I can guarantee you she's not only looking at you, she's meeting other guys. You don't, it's a free market. When you go out to buy a car, before you paid cash and you put your documents in, anybody else can buy it. So you don't need to ask a permission before you are single till married. You don't need to ask a permission from somebody to exercise your options, meet people. But you also don't need to talk about it. Michael, I don't know how old you are, but some questions people just do not have to answer. If you only met her, if you've been with her and lived, you're close with her, that's a little bit different. But even then, single before married, and especially if you're on a website and you just coming out, you flying, so she wants you to fly all the way to Ukraine to only meet her. Just know that she's probably scamming you, because a lady who respects herself, she doesn't really care. She wouldn't ask you a question because she's also in active search. She's also meeting other guys, but she's smarter. I'm sorry to tell you this. She's not gonna tell you. So if you think that she's only gonna meet you, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. She's not. And just don't, guys, do not listen. All of us have options. I mean, unless you're really ugly, I'm just saying how it is, you have options. And you should consider all of your options. You should go out and know what's, you know, what's available. Just have a good time. Like for me, I just want to tell you from my experience, though, or for my beliefs. I personally do not say going out on dates, it means that sleeping around or having sex. It's okay to see different people and make a choice. How do you make a choice from one? It's not a choice. It's like it's not a choice. It's just like, oh, I have only, you know, one option. It's different when you really like somebody that much that you want to be with them, but you don't need to report anybody before you sign the papers, before you start the K1, or before you pay, uh gentlemen, before you pay that women's bills and take care of your living, of your house, you have no right to tell her what she needs to do. Number one. Number two, the lady does not have any rights or claiming her possessive possessivity her being possessive toward you as well, because you do not belong to her yet. You haven't made your choice. You haven't even met her. Man, I'm losing daylight, guys. It's just a little bit better. So yeah, it's just silly, but do not talk about it. And it doesn't mean that you are lying. If it's different if you've been with somebody for some serious amount of time and you've been dating and seeing each other every single, you know, like being really, that's a little bit different. You can have a conversation. I know in America people have conversations and they're talking like, are we exclusive, are we seeing other people or not? But when you meet somebody from a dating site, she may not even show up to airport to meet you. I have clients like this, and you will cut all your other options. I don't know about you. I don't report anything to anyone unless that person puts their life on the line to take care of me. Then I will let them know what I'm doing. Otherwise, no thanks. If you put your life on the line to, you know, take care of me and provide, I'm just saying how the Ukrainian women thing. If I'm doing my own thing, if I take care of myself, even if, you know, if we are dating, you guys have to understand that marriage and being with somebody to the rest of your life, it's a huge decision. Just because you went out and have a couple cupcakes and you have a great time talking, it doesn't mean that you qualified for her. It doesn't mean that you know how to lead her, how to protect her. It doesn't mean that you're the man for her. It doesn't mean that you're a woman for him. You know, a smart woman is not going to marry you because you got her a gift. You know, she will marry you because she will think, okay, this man can really lead, protect, and provide. I feel comfortable with him. I feel relaxed. He provides security. He's been taking care of me. You know, we have a lot in common. We have same ideas for future, blah blah blah. You know, some men think that, you know, they can come to Ukraine and buy you a couple of gifts and you just like, oh, this is my husband. Hell no. Oops. My old friends are here with wings. So, yes, guys, it's getting dark. Guys, it was such a crazy day today. It was raining literally all day with breaks. And this is really weird, but I love rain, especially in summer. It's just like, it has such a cozy feeling. I don't know if anybody else loves rain here, but I don't know, something about it. So you see, not Michael says that he answered it truthfully. I'm not encouraging you guys to lie. It's just, if somebody asks you how much money do you have in your bank, do you need to respond? You know, what plans you have for the future? Like when people actually, you know, a lot of people do not really know how to communicate, and they asking you all these questions. It's like, you don't need to know that. You're not on level to know these things. So you don't have to answer that. Yes, John. John, I hope this life was helpful for you. You know, um, I'm gonna try to, I've been giving you some hints too. Yes, you sometimes you have to put a timeline. Not always you can. It's not like you always can. Hello. You cannot always speed up the process. You cannot always do things the way you do them when you want to do them, but you can make a realistic plan. Sometimes it's 6 months, a year, to figure out step by step what's going to happen, whether it's going to be followed up, and then go from there. But it cannot be an endless process. I think people kind of lose hope and lose excitement in long distance relationship when they lose vision. They don't understand, like, when it's hard. It's not easy. They just don't understand when, where, and how. And but when you have a vision, when your dream is a goal with a deadline, then you can kind of plan things, and you can think, that's fine. I'll do this meanwhile, I'll do that meanwhile. You guys, as men, once again, you have to provide clear vision of the future, and the woman needs to follow up with the woman needs to follow up with your plan, whatever it takes from her to be able to follow up. But she's not going to be doing initiative. But if she doesn't follow up, if she doesn't take a decision, if she postpones things, then you have to take a decision. You should take a decision for her, which means you need to take a decision for you. From that point, what are you doing with your life? Get out of here, flying bloodsucker monsters. I'm in the dark, guys. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple more comments and we're gonna call it a night. Thank you, Tom Godin. I appreciate it. Well, just like somebody can ask you about the money, people not supposed to ask you who else you're seeing. Especially on the early stages of dating or courtship. It's your business who you are seeing and what you're doing. Because a lot of times you are becoming you don't need to report. You build your relationship slowly to the point when you become exclusive, but you don't need to report. Or if you courtship is fun, it's lighthearted, it's fun, but you don't need to report. Man, I'm closing the door, guys. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple comments. Oi, I'm closing the door, guys. I'm in the dark. In the dark. I need this clip light. I have it somewhere. It's not about being honest. It's about being, I don't want to say dumb, but and I'm not saying that anybody is dumb, but it's about, like, when you plan, when you are doing something, you just sometimes giving too much information. Nobody cares. First of all, how people that post too much on social media, if somebody will join the live right now, it's like dark. If somebody posts, a lot on social media, too much information, like people post, like they have a mosquito bite, they will post. They spill the coffee, they will post. They had a bowl of soup. Like, people post every step on their social media. How annoying it's sometimes. Like, it's called TMI, too much information. So that's it. Don't give too much information and be confident. When the person becoming exclusive and they have what it takes to become an exclusive, that's a whole different story. When somebody becomes exclusive and that is your agreement, when they exclusively kill you right now, bloodsucker. And what happens when you suck my blood? Sorry, guys. uh Man, the Michigan is like, I don't know what's going on with the mosquitoes right now. you can't qualify nobody online except for knowing that you're not married and you are, you know, you're not ugly, and you're more or less somebody that she will consider. If the lady wants to spend too much qualifying you online, it's a bull crap. Michael, I'm telling you, I cannot spend more time responding to you, so book a session. Somebody post consult Veronika@gmail.com, because I need to know more details, but overall, we want to qualify you in person. That's what we want to do. So book a session, guys, if you need to go in details, and I don't have that much time really, but if you really need to, we can make it happen. So yeah, you sculpt things, you work on you. If you were meant to be with somebody, it will happen. You know, you'll be both working toward it. So thank you. Yes, I know, guys. I'm getting eaten alive. God damn it! Do you guys know if there is like a clip that you? Because I don't like putting those things on my body. Those sprays, they are so bad. I wonder if there is a clip for them to die. All right, guys, I'll read your comments later. It's becoming super dark and I need to go. It's my tea time, my relaxation time. Thank you so much for joining, you all. I will read your comments later on so I can see if I can come up with some more great topics for you to speak to. And guys, if you enjoyed this live, could you please comment under the video once the live is over, and maybe if I did not respond your question, write your question or situation under the video and I will help you. All right? So have a good evening, everybody. Good night from the dark.